Welcome to Pumping Python. My name is Jacob Itegboje, and this is part 3 of a program that calculates the difference between a given wake and sleep time. Time to write some code. I will open up a terminal here, then go to the tests, and right before test duration with hours and minutes, enter twice, up, then tab, DEF, test underscore duration underscore W underscore an underscore earlier underscore wake underscore than underscore sleep underscore time. Parentheses self a colon at the end. Hit enter after the colon at sleep underscore time. Assign that to the result of calling random underscore time stamp parentheses. Make a copy of the line, paste it below, and change the name of this one to wake underscore time. To make sure that wake time is always earlier than sleep time in this test, I will add a while loop. At the end of the line, hit enter, add while wake underscore time greater than or equal to sleep underscore time, colon. Enter at the end of the line, wake underscore time will be assigned to the result of calling random underscore time stamp parentheses. This while loop will check after wake time is assigned a random timestamp to see if it is later than or the same as sleep time. If it is, it will assign it a new random timestamp. Then check again. If it is, assign it to a new random timestamp. It will continue to do that loop until wake time is earlier than sleep time. Then it will exit and can go to the next line. Enter twice, backspace, self.assert equal, parentheses. Enter in the parentheses, add a call to sleep underscore duration dot duration, parentheses. Enter in the parentheses, give a sleep underscore time of sleep underscore time, comma, enter wake underscore time with a value of wake underscore time. Put a comma to the right of the closing parentheses, enter and add empty quotes as the expectation. I get an assertion error. The duration function returns a negative timestamp when wake time is earlier than sleep time. I will hit save a few times to make sure, and they're all negative. This is not a real duration. I want the duration function to return a difference when wake time is later than or the same as sleep time. And when wake time is earlier than sleep time, it should raise an exception. To make sure it does that, I will change this self.assert equal to with self.assert raises regex. Close the parentheses, put a colon at the end. Come down here, remove the comma, remove the double quotes, and remove the closing parentheses. Go back to assert, raises, regex, enter in the parentheses. This takes two required positional arguments. First, an expected exception, which in this case I want to be a value error. And the second is an expected regular expression, which will be the message I want the value error to have. Enter here, F quotes, wake underscore time, colon, space, double quotes, curly braces in the double quotes, wake underscore time. Enter at the end of the line, quote, space is earlier than space. Enter at the end of that line, F quote, sleep underscore time, colon, space, double quotes, curly braces in the double quotes, and sleep underscore time. I have an assertion error, value error not raised. To raise it, I will go back to the duration function, add a condition right before difference hours. Enter, go back up, if wake underscore time, less than sleep underscore time, colon, enter at the end of the line, raise value error, parentheses. Enter in the parentheses, add the message, F quotes, wake underscore time, colon, space, double quotes, curly braces in the double quotes, wake underscore time. Enter at the end of the line, quote, space is earlier than space. Enter at the end of that line, F quote, sleep underscore time, colon. Space, double quotes, curly braces, sleep underscore time. Enter to the right of the closing parentheses here, add else with a colon. Then select everything after the else line and hit tab to move it to the right. Come up here, two spaces to the left of the plus to move it to line up with the line before. Do the same thing here, space, space to the left of the minus, and one more here, space, space. I have a passing test, and I am expecting a value error for test duration with hours and minutes when wake time is randomly earlier than sleep time. I will hit save a few times to see if that happens. Here we go, value error, wake time 4:17 is earlier than sleep time 21:22. Good, this is what I want. I will add this to the list of exceptions encountered even though I made this happen. Hashtag value error. And to make sure that for the difference calculation, wake time is never earlier than sleep time, I will add another while statement. Enter here while wake underscore time less than sleep underscore time, colon. Enter wake underscore time will be assigned to the result of calling random underscore timestamp parentheses. This while loop makes sure that when wake time is earlier than sleep time after the assignments, wake time is assigned a new random timestamp until it is later than or the same as sleep time before it does the difference calculations. And now I will hit save since the test is passing to make sure there are no more random failures. Green, 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 green all the way. Since the assert raises regex here runs when wake time is earlier than sleep time, I will make a copy of it. And I can do that in this while loop because the condition here is for when wake time is earlier than sleep time. Enter to the left of while, enter to the right of the colon, backspace, 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 and paste. Select the code I just pasted, hit tab to move it to the right. And to make sure it works, I will go back to duration and select the condition, comment it out, which gives me an assertion error, value error not raised for test duration with an earlier wake than sleep time. If this works, I should get 1 for test duration with hours and minutes when wake time is randomly earlier than sleep time. I will hit save, and here we go. Test duration with hours and minutes. Assertion error, value error not raised. It works. I will remove the comments. Then go back to the test and select test duration with an earlier wake than sleep time. Hit delete, remove the extra line because it is now covered by test duration with hours and minutes. I will come down here for some cleanup, add else to below wake time. Select the rest of the code below the else line all the way to the end of the assertion. Hit tab to move it to the right. Then these lines that have variables, I am going to remove them and replace them with a method because it's too many lines for me. Make a copy of the lines. Go up to before test duration with hours and minutes. Enter twice. Up, tab, DEF, get underscore difference, parentheses, a colon at the end. Enter after the colon, backspace, backspace, and paste. Select the lines I just pasted, shift tab to move them to the left. I have a warning here for wake time and sleep time not being defined in this method. I will hit enter and the parentheses, backspace to add them to the signature. Wake underscore time. Assign it a default value of none. Comma, sleep underscore time. Assign that to a default value of none as well. Then come down here to the left of this minus space, space, left of this one, space twice, and to the left of this plus 2 spaces. Go down below duration, minutes, enter, tab, tab, add, return. And I'll go back to the test to select the expectation. I want that to be my return value. Select these 4 lines, make a copy. Go back up to get difference, space after the return, and paste. Select these three lines, Shift Tab Tab to move them to the left. Then go back to the expectation and test duration with hours and minutes. Select the 4 lines, comment them out. To the right of this closing parentheses, hit enter, add a call to self.get underscore difference parentheses. Enter in the parentheses, give wake underscore time. With a default value of wake underscore time. Comma, sleep underscore time. With a value of sleep underscore time. I get a type error. Test sleep duration, the get difference got multiple values for argument wake time. I will go back to the method to see where the error is. It's in the signature. I did not add self. If I add self here with a comma, the test passes, but I did not add self because there is no call or reference to self within this method. Instead, I will do this, enter before get difference tab, then add static method to decorate it. And the test passes. I can go back here, select the commented code, hit delete. Still green, and select these variables, remove them because they're no longer used. Still green. All right, I will do the same thing with the assert raises regex block here. Make a copy of it. Then go above get difference, add enter twice, up tab DEF. This I will name in the style of the assertion or the assert methods from unit test or test case. Assert week time earlier, parentheses, colon at the end. Enter after the colon, backspace, backspace, and paste. Select the code I just pasted, Shift Tab to move it to the left. And I have a warning for self, wake time, and sleep time not being defined in this method. Enter in the parentheses, backspace at self, comma, wake underscore time. Assign it a default value of none. Comma, sleep underscore time. Assign that a default value of none as well. Then go back down to the test. Select the assert raises regex block, comment it out. To the right of the closing parentheses, enter, add a call to self.assert wake time earlier, parentheses. Enter in the parentheses, give wake underscore time. With a value of wake time, not a default value. Comma, enter. Sleep underscore time. With a value of sleep underscore time. The test passes. To make sure it is doing what I expect, I will go back to duration, comment out the condition, then hit save to see if I get an assertion error. Here we go, value error not raised. It works. I can take out the comments, then go back to the test, select the commented code, hit delete, and the test passes. Still green. All tests are still passing. Fantastic. The challenge is to write a program that calculates the difference between a given wake and sleep time. I ran the following test to get something that comes close to doing it. I test string splitting, test converting strings to numbers, test floor aka integer division, test the modulo operation, test duration with hours, test duration calculation, test duration with an earlier wake than sleep time, and test duration with hours and minutes, where I used a while statement to make sure that when wake time is earlier than sleep time, the duration function raises a value error with a message and returns the right difference between the two when wake time is earlier than sleep time or the same as sleep time. Would you like to test duration with timestamps that have dates? I will see you in the next one.